So what is your biggest challenge right now? Is it your job, your finances, your health, your relationships? I'd be willing to bet it's actually none of those things. And it's actually that your biggest challenge is something you haven't even yet considered, but it's right under your nose. I'm Nicola, and my passion is helping parents and not yet parents release their stuff so they don't pass it on to their kids and repeat the cycle. And I've been finding ways to break my patterns of pain for over 25 years. I'm going to relieve the suspense right now and tell you that your biggest challenge is none of those things. It's actually you. But let me explain why. When our lives are not going the way we want, we're super busy looking outside for explanations. Oh, I didn't get that promotion. Oh, I don't have enough money this month. Oh, I've got this health condition. Or I'm having this challenge with this other person in my life right now. And all of these explanations are out there. Explanations for why we're struggling and why we're having this challenge. But your biggest challenge is actually none of those things. It's you. Simply because out there is simply a reflection of you and what's going on inside of you. And there's a war raging in there right now. We are chock full of baggage, of issues, of limiting beliefs, of bad habits, negative self-talk, all of the crud. And I've got a whole video on how to unearth these issues that are holding you back. But these things lead us to make certain choices, and our life is a result of those choices. And if our inside is such a mess, is it any wonder that our outside circumstances are also chaotic? We are constantly at odds with ourselves. This is inner conflict, and this is our biggest challenge. This is why we are our biggest challenge. We say we want one thing, but our beliefs hold us back from actually doing it. We strive for another thing, but our nervous system says it's not safe, so we get in our way and sabotage ourselves. I feel like Wallace from A Close Shave saying, get yourselves organized down there. If we can embrace this idea that inner conflict and our inner world is actually our biggest challenge, we can save ourselves a lot of wasted time looking for excuses out there as to why things aren't working. So what are some of the symptoms of having this inner conflict that's causing all this trouble for us? Well, we might be in emotional distress. We think we want one thing and then we also want another, and we can't figure out how to reconcile those two things. Maybe we have beliefs that are incompatible. I believe I want this thing, but I'm acting in conflict with that. Maybe I have a self-image that says I'm this kind of person, and yet my actions don't line up with that. Maybe we feel like there are pressures from society to act a certain way, but it doesn't feel right for us. Maybe we have something calling to us, our purpose calling us in a particular direction, but our lives are going in a completely different direction. Maybe that's just our personality or the way we communicate that creates these conflicts inside of us. But whatever it is, essentially it boils down to a tug of war between fear and freedom. I want this thing, but I'm afraid to go after it. Or I'm afraid that if I do this thing, something bad will happen. But at the same time, I want to have this experience. I want to grow. I want to learn. I want to expand. And that fear and freedom is causing this conflict within us. So how do we resolve this conflict? Well, it starts with awareness, an awareness of what's really going on for us internally, but also an awareness of the role of other people in that experience, how what they do affects what's going on for us, and being really honest about what's happening and what's underneath this supposed challenge that we're having, what's really driving it. And we need to acknowledge that we wouldn't be struggling if this wasn't important. So understand that the fact that this thing is coming up in our lives and is creating a challenge for us is really valuable information. It shows us what matters to us, and that's really great. So we start with awareness and acknowledgement of this situation, and then we can think about, okay, well, now that I understand more about what's really going on for me, what are my options? And we can list out those options, go through, do a big brainstorm. Don't censor yourself, dump out every possibility. How can I move forward with this situation? And then once we've got that big list, we can go through and write out pros and cons for each of those so we can understand, are the upsides worth the downsides of this particular choice? But also we can ask ourselves some really important questions like, what do I really want here? Or what feels best in this situation? Or what's the bottom line? What's the essence of what's going on and what I really want out of this and why this matters? And that leads us to be able to make a decision about the best way to move forward from where we are. And then we can make a plan and start taking baby steps in that direction. But a lot of that is conscious work, and we also need to deal with stuff on the subconscious level, meaning we need to release all the stuff that's getting in our way, our beliefs, our issues, our baggage, and all of the crud. And I've got a guide with my 10 favorite techniques for releasing emotional issues that you might want to download as you work through this and figure out what's getting in your way and how you can release it. And I'd love if you could share what your biggest challenge is right now so that we can learn from your experience, but also understand that we're not alone on this journey of getting out of our own way and resolving this inner conflict. And once we embrace this idea that we are actually our biggest challenge, the outside world is not the biggest challenge, it's us that's getting in our own way. Once we can embrace that idea and really work with it, we stop blaming the external circumstances for what's going wrong in our life. We start getting everything inside of us on the same page, working together, so that we can finally start to actually whip our external world into shape. And if you want to dive deeper into 4 different ways that you can uncover these issues that are getting in your way, watch this video next. And I'll see you in the next one.